Hey everybody, this is the demonstration for how to do your cylinder in light and shadow. I already did a couple of cylinders here, you can see, and I'm just going to do one more. I did the whole diagram like I did for the sphere with the light source, highlighted area, some areas of reflected light on the opposite side, core shadow in the middle, cast shadow, and then the termination line is where the core shadow starts usually, but you can have more than one termination line. It really just means transition between any two tones. You can see in this one I did it a lot more in a more painterly fashion, and I used a slightly different technique. I got a little bit squinned. If you need to, you can do this with rulers for the side, or you can use your eraser to try and correct it a little bit. So I'm going to start out, I'll just do a smaller one up here. With two ellipses. Now when I'm looking at this, I'm actually seeing a more circular form, so I would encourage you to look at it too, but if you want to do it in a more generic way, you start out with your two ellipses, and then you're going to do the sides, so that we're looking at it this way as if it were 3D, but we'll get rid of that. Sometimes that can help when you're drawing this type of object. I'm just going to stand back from it a little bit because this one came out a little bit squint the second one I did. I want to make sure it looks okay. This looks alright. I'm going to draw my cast shadow as I see it. Looks like a triangular pointed shape. Over here we got our deeper shadow at the base of the form. Got a lighter area coming around there. Okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to erase this part, which is the inside. I'm going to go in and start putting in my core shadow at the termination line. I'm just working with my HB. For now, when I darken it up, I'll go into more of the other ones. Now often when you're working with a circular type of form like this, oops, I went a little bit over the top for that. You're going to have, depending on where your light source is, the front, in this case, is the darker portion, and then we've got highlight over here, and as you curve around to the other side, you're going to have that reflected light again. I can actually see, I'm going to go back in with my eraser later and get some of those shapes of the reflected light. And then I'm going to have my medium tones. The top and this part next to the termination line are going to be the medium or lighter tones. And also the top has a little bit of a highlight on some areas, but not much. I'm going in with my background. I'm going to smudge all this later. I'm just doing it very impressionistically, kind of in a painterly manner. I'm just trying to get the feeling. Now I did start out with the line drawing, but I'm doing this drawing more like a value drawing where you just have areas of value that are meeting each other. I'm trying to do it more, a little bit more like that. That's something that's a very good exercise to do as well. If you want to, you can try different types of shading. You could do cross-hatching, one with cross-hatching, one with hatching, one with shading, and maybe one with stippling if you feel like it, if you're doing a bunch of them together. I have a line over there. I drew the line of the cast shadow right into the cylinder somehow. Okay, I'm going to darken up my background a little bit here. And then I'm going to go back with my eraser, but first I'll smear things a little bit. Highlight over here, because this is my lightest area. I see some highlights on the top. And this is kind of a medium tone, but I can still see that. I'm going to define that a little bit better. I didn't make it squint. Let me just stand back for a second. Make sure, because I have a tendency to do that. Cylinders. Look a little bit too pointed over there. Eraser a little skinnier because I made the highlights too big. Okay, and there you have it, another somewhat painterly cylinder. I made this line is a little bit, I have to straighten this up because it's really almost like a perfectly straight line here. And then I wanted to go back in here because I'm actually seeing, I'm sure you probably can't see this on the video, but I drew it on this first one and this one. I'm seeing a little area which almost looks like a triangular shape of reflected light over here. Now it got very light because you're seeing it in contrast with the dark areas. I'm going to go back in and lighten up my highlighted area because that should always be the lightest tone. And I can just smudge over that a little bit. Okay, and there you have a cylinder. Now this could be turned into a vase or whatever, you know, any type of object, or you might have, say, a cone shape. It could be a base of a lamp, and then you could have a spherical form or whatever. You know, you can combine these three different basic shapes together to make compound or more complex shapes. Okay, so have fun with this one. Take care.